Matisse, Mayo. Here we go. So 4-3-3 is the formation for this set and forget. Let's start off with an easy one. Okay, so you have to put in this team, and this team would have to play week in, week out for the next 5 years. And so you've got to think about injuries within this as well, which is a slight tricky one. So Sanchez or Kepa? Sanchez is 25 currently. Kepa is 29. I don't want to talk about this one for too long because I'd imagine it's quite easy, or is it not? If you had to stick with one,
Sanchez.
Yeah, let's
Sanchez.
go Sanchez.
Yeah. Okay, Kai, if you can jot all this down for me, by the way, because as Kai knows the twist at the end. So we put Sanchez as our goalkeeper, and so in 5 years' time he'll be 31, just hitting his peak. Right back. Okay, Reece James, 23 years old. Or Marlo. Oh, I would never know how to say it. Marlo.
Malo Gusto.
Malo Gusto.
This one is so hard because ultimately we're speaking about injuries.
Mm-hmm.
And we're speaking about the game like developing. Like ultimately, will Reece James be all right back in 5 years?
He should be.
He should.
So do you see him? Because I saw him way back when.
Wigan.
Yeah. And I remember seeing him thinking, ooh. And you do in the Championship. You see players, you go, oh, wow. You're not going to be here long. And he was really, really exciting.
Here for a good time, not a long time.
Yeah, and I'm a huge Reece James fan. Obviously, the injuries are difficult. And we had a podcast a couple of weeks ago where we spoke to a sort of physio and talking about how as you grow, in age, it takes time for you to really kind of get your body right, if that makes sense. And sometimes people will have problems with injuries and then kind of figure it out a little bit. And obviously we're all hoping that's the case with Reece James. He's currently 23. Do you see him figuring that out? And then I guess the second thing is, do you see him playing in a different position?
I definitely would keep him at right back. I think he could, with the way the fullback role has evolved in football, it's now you can show off all your traits in that position. You don't feel limited. I am going to put him in the team purely because I think the quality that he has and he possesses, along with the potential leadership qualities, is something that this team desperately needs. And he's just, when he's on it, he's just clear. He's incredible. But the injuries are a massive concern. But I would have him in the team just purely because, he's just that good.
Okay. I would have to agree. The injuries are a massive thing. And ultimately, whilst the right back is that position, you can, express yourself. I think even if you're looking at the moment, in this current moment when we're recording, there's a lack of dynamism that's kind of looked like it's faded away from Reece James, and which is one of his his power points. So it will be interesting to see if he can get himself back to what he was and play regularly, because that's the key thing. But Gusto's a great player, but you have to go James.
Yeah. So Gusto, you're not feeling like he is the future then?
I think he's an amazing right back. I think he has a bright future ahead of him. And ultimately, that's why I was saying it was interesting. Reece James might evolve and become a holding mid or something, and Gusto plays right back. But I think the competition of the two would probably keep James on his toes.
Managing James Gusto helps that massively. Yeah.
Okay. So do you know what? I'm going to reveal the twist a little bit here. So these players that you're not picking will go on the transfer scrap heap, and we'll revisit that at the end. Okay. So Gusto, sorry son, off you pop. Right-sided centre back. I've got 3 options here. We've said goodbye to Silva because I think at the age of 45,
yes,
44,
if he does play
player manager,
then for the next 5 years,
if like he has the mentality, he's got 3 years in him.
He probably does. Yeah,
he's got a good 3.
He reminds me of like Fernando Alonso of F1. Like,
he's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd love to see it. He's got to go back to Brazil, hasn't he? At some point,
Yeah.
and
just assume he does have young family, so maybe they're in school.
He might in 5 years he might be a gaffer,
coach. Yeah.
Good shout. Yeah. Good shout. So Wesley Fofana, currently injured, out till the end of the season, I think. Trevor Chalobah, who's kind of been forgotten about, it feels like, after a really strong season last season, or a lot of games at the very least. And Axel Disasi. You've got a 22-year-old, a 24-year-old, and a 25-year-old.
So for me, if I'm looking at this, Fofana suffered 2 massive injuries, and you have question marks of whether he'll be able to be the defender we once thought he would be. I mean, if you look at the early days of him and Saliba, and then what he did initially at Leicester, you were looking at a world beater. But injuries like that do take their toll, especially when your pace is one of your strong points. Trevor Chalobah has been someone who was not an unknown entity, but he went into the wilderness, came back, and was a real formidable part of Thomas Tuchel's Chelsea, and he's been utilised in different positions. But for me, in this situation, if you look at the young squad, Axel Disasi was brought in. He's a French international. He's 25. in this squad going forward at the back, he's probably going to be one of the guys that is the experienced leader there. And if I had to hedge my bets on any of those three, it would probably be on Axel.
Yeah.
25, a little bit older than I thought he was actually. Is he, when everyone's raving about Saliba right now, do you see him getting to that level? Have you seen elements of that?
The reason why I don't see him getting to that level, because I think Saliba's just completely, like, Axel doesn't have the pace that Saliba has. And I think Saliba's kind of like a once in a, generation type centre back.
Right.
You get these ones that come around and you just think this guy is going to be here to stay. Axel's not like a, quote unquote, generational talent. He's 25. But I think he's got some really redeeming qualities. I think he's really sorted us out from an aerial standpoint. Chelsea used to be really physically overran and, bullied. And I think he's brought that to the team where we can actually depend upon him to win those duels at the back, which are basic, but it's something that Chelsea have lost. And you look at the lack of goals we've scored from set piece over the years in comparison to when we had Ivanovic and Alex and Terry and Cahill. He could be part of bringing that back. So I kind of see him as like the big friendly giant. He's a very he's a very nice character. I like the way he kind of brings people together, even in the small little moments of celebrations and whatnot. I get very good vibes from him, and he's a good player. He might not be like a starter forever, but I think he's a good player to have.
So it sounds like you're kind of suggesting that Fofana has the star power, but you're concerned about the injuries, understandably.
Yeah.
Chalobah feels like he's a steady Eddie, and Disasi is somewhere in the middle. So are you going Disasi as well?
Yeah.
Okay, Disasi makes it through. Left side of centre back. So we've got Malang Sarr and Pochettino. If you are listening, Malang Sarr's one of the players in your squad earlier in the season. That was put forward to him in a press conference, and he was like, "Who's that?" to the guy to the next to him. He's 24. His contract expires in 2025. Didn't cost anything. Levi Colwill and Benoit Badiashile.
This one,
I want to cheat.
This one is difficult because Badiashile is a really, really good centre-half. And those who know that he formed this really great centre-half partnership with Axel Disasi. Yeah. Levi Colwill, though, when we're speaking about generational defenders, the Rolls Royce, which is always used as centre-halves, for me, he is a Rolls Royce centre-half. He is Cobham as well. I would find it very difficult not to put him on that left side. But then I look at Benoit and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is tall, aerial threat, ball ability, like...
Cole's been playing left back. So what I want to do...
Are you want to cheat, do you?
I'm going to put Badiashile in and I want to move Cole to left back and kick
for the rest of his
career for 5 years.
I can't live without both of them. I love them both. I really do.
I mean, I'll allow you... You can do whatever you want. This is your set and forget. Remember, you must set and you must forget. But
I'm not convinced on any of the other left backs.
You could push Disasi out. Could one of those play? Could you have Benoit and Colwill? Or do you need Disasi?
Do you know what it is? I'm not convinced on any of the left backs we actually have for the next 5 years. They always have things lacking in their game that they need. Chilwell's injury prone as well and has been struggling with that for quite some time. I don't think he's of the level of Reece James where he can kind of get away with that, so to speak. I think Cucurella is, as good as he is defensively, very limited going forward, as we saw again yesterday when he had the opportunities to make those decisions. So I don't know. I feel greedy now. I just go with the centre backs. Maybe like he could be a Ivanovic was at right back.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe one of them can become that.
Maybe Pochettino wants to coach and use different coaching principles and then inverted left backs.
Vardy was playing left back for Pep. It can work.
It's true. I'm not mad at it. I mean, realistically, do I see Colwill playing there for 5 years?
No.
Probably not.
That feels like a waste to me.
Yeah, it does.
We did a podcast after England won the under-21s tournament, and we had Harry Brooks on, who coaches one-to-one professional footballers, and he said that he thinks that he's the best under-21 centre-back in the world.
Wow.
Wow. And I mean, he's 20.
Yeah.
Let me give you the other left-backs, and then you can make a decision, okay? So left-back, you've got Ian Maatsen. He's only 21. Contract expires in 2025. Only costs 95k. You got Ben Chilwell, who's 26, cost 43 million, and then you got Mark Cucurella, who of course cost 60 million and has a contract till 2028. So are you not feeling any of those guys?
I'm going to be brave. I want Colwill at left centre half, and I'm going to bank on youth. I'm going to go Maatsen. I think ultimately, in that Burnley side, even though it was the Championship, you saw the signs of what a modern fullback looks like. He's a versatile player that can play in different parts of the squad as well. Yeah. And ultimately, we're only talking about the starting 11.
Yeah.
So he might drop out for someone, you never know. But I think out of the three, if you're looking for 5 years, he is the one I would hedge my bets on. I think Chilwell ultimately just can't show at the moment that he can stay fit, which is unfortunate.
Okay, so I need you guys to agree. Actually, come on, you're gonna let him have that one, Matee.
It's tough because Badiashiel's so good.
He is.
He is so good.
But
And
if we're transfer listing him, we're going to make some money. That's how good he is.
I know, but that partnership with Axel,
I know.
you know that would work. They've been speaking about it. They've been
One of you
talking
needs to
the
back down.
dynamic.
One of you needs to back down.
One's the aggressor, one is the calm head.
Cobham, Matisse, Cobham.
Cobham is Cobham. Keep both. That's what I'm saying. Matson's not even played left back for Poch. Can Matson do it at left back in this league, being targeted aerially? Who knows? We haven't seen it yet. I'm putting the seed of doubt.
One of you. Okay, out of 10, how much do you care about the two choices there for you of having Cole and Badiashile?
Like strong 8.
Strong 8. Okay, can you
really like these two?
Let's go Cole.
I really like these two.
Let's go Cole.
All right, so we're going to go Cole left back and Badiashile left-sided centre back. Okay, great. Here we go. Defensive midfield. It's between Romeo Lavia, 19, cost 55 mil. Contract expires in 2030.
Run that by me again. 20 when?
2030.
Wow.
Can't even count.
Flying cars by them.
Leslie Ugochukwu, also 19. Also contract expired to 2030 with an option for a year on the top of that if you fancy it. And he cost 22 million. Is this an easy one?
Is it just those two?
It is for me.
Have you got another name you can try?
For me, it's easy.
For defensive midfield, so we've got Lavia, Ugochukwu. There's someone that... I saw something. It was moving me.
Oh, you want to put Caicedo in this?
No. Yeah.
Andre Santos.
Andre Santos. I saw it was moving me. Like there was. I'm thinking about 5 years. I'm thinking about 5 years from now.
I really like
5 years from now.
Yeah.
5 years from now.
Wow.
It's not a foregone conclusion.
No, it's really not. You're right. Andre Santos was incredible in pre-season. Him and Angelo.
I mean, Brazil obviously think that he's the guy.
Yeah, I think as we attained him, Barcelona were like, can we have him? Like immediately, they were like, sorry, we've made a mistake. We were meant to bid. We didn't get it in time. Can we please take him off your hands? Like 18 years old, but just plays like a 23-year-old.
Yeah.
He's clearly racked up the minutes that a lot of our 22-year-olds haven't. So This is actually a tough one, but I rate Lavia so highly. Last season for Southampton, games against Arsenal at the Emirates, when he comes off, they concede 2. Games against City in the Cup, games against Chelsea at the Bridge. I know he's injured, but this kid is so good.
What I like about him as well, he's so combative. I think ultimately, playing the Premier League in this modern era, you need to be able to get around the pitch. And interceptions is part of the game where a lot of people just sleep on it. It takes an art to intercept the ball. It takes an art to stop your opponent in motion and then just be able to just give the ball off. And I rate Lavia really highly because even though it was at Southampton, he proved that he could do it. Coming out of City, he was so highly sought after. And a lot of people still feel like, with the whole, thing with hold the mid situation, why couldn't he stay for a year longer and then learn the ropes? So for me, I like Ugochukwu a lot. I just feel like the other two are a level above.
Yeah.
Lavia's more Premier League proven though.
He is.
So it would probably
He's picked up a couple of injuries.
He has picked up a couple of injuries.
And we've got a couple of players that have picked up a couple of injuries.
Yeah, you're going to be down to 9 yourself in a minute. Okay, Lavia makes it through.
Let's go Lavia.
Yeah.
Let's go Lavia.
Right side is centre midfielder. We've got Enzo Fernandez and Chukwuemeka, of course. Enzo Fernandez, whose contract expires in 2031, is 22. He cost 105 mil. And Carney Chukwuemeka, 20 years old. Contract expires 2028. Only cost 16 million.
Love Carney.
I love Carney, but it's got to be Enzo.
I mean, that's an easy one, right? So Enzo Fernandez, of course, makes it in. He spent 105. You've got to give him a chance, haven't you? Moyes, on left-sided centre midfielder, Moyes Caicedo or Conor Gallagher, 23 and 22. Conor Gallagher's 23. His contract expires in 2025. Obviously, didn't cost anything. He's Cobham, as May would say.
As Todd Bowie would say, that's pure profit.
Yeah, exactly.
Gross, 100% gross.
So do you think Todd Bowley's going to stick with Gallagher, who costs nothing and will be pure profit, or Moises Caicedo, who costs 110
Definitely make
million?
a loss on him.
Yeah.
Yeah, Caicedo.
Easy
decision there, sadly.
Has Conor Gallagher got a long future at Chelsea, do you think? Because obviously this is just an 11.
I think he it was an interesting one. In the summer, it looked like he could have been in his way out. I think there was a few bids that did come in. And ultimately, what he's proven is he does have something to offer to this team. He has the spirit of this team. And he does have that combativeness that helps you get from one side of the pitch to another. So I think he definitely does have a future at Chelsea.
Right wing, Noni Madueke, of course, was it last year he arrived?
Yeah.
21, cost 30 million. Cole Palmer, also 21, cost 45 million. His contract expires in 20. Both have got 2030 with an option for an extra year. Who out of these two?
I like Nani a lot, but Cole Palmer's base of what he is and what he's going to go on to be.
Yeah. Polished.
It's incomparable. It's incomparable.
It's the top two instances for me with Cole Palmer. He just and I'm not saying he's more intelligent than Madueke, but what I'm saying is he's arrogant. I think he's arrogant, in a good way.
He does move like as if he is running the show.
And when he scores that goal and he's happy to be like the villain a little bit. There's nothing wrong with that either.
And to take the first 3 penalties on arrival and to take that
pinch
ball
one off Sterling,
and say, listen, you are the senior of this team.
But this is
I am stepping into.
I'm your little bro, in fact.
I am Man City, that Jamaican, side of it as well. But bro, sit this one out. This is mine. And to do that 3 times and put them all in, something that Enzo unfortunately couldn't do against West Ham, speaks volumes.
Yeah,
really impressed with him.
Totally agree.
Going forward in the next 5 years, I'll go as far as to say that this will be Cole Palmer's team.
Up top, we've got Nicholas Jackson. We've got Armando Broja. We've got Christopher and Kunku. Surely we're going with the guy who's got a hat-trick, right?
Nope. We're going with the guy that we've never seen.
The unproven entity.
Because at this point, if we haven't seen you, you've got a better chance of impressing us. So Kunku for me.
Christopher and Kunku. Broja and Jackson, who will have a better career out of those two?
Great question. I like Broja a lot. I like what he offers. He's coming back from injury. Yep. I think he has proven he can score goals at this level for Southampton.
I like his game.
Yeah.
He's also quite complete as well, quite well-rounded. He holds the ball up really well, nice touches. Yeah. He had a really deceptive amount of pace in his locker that he showed before the injury. But because he's picked up that big injury, I worry about his recovery on that. So I probably lean more towards Jackson, but it's close.
Yeah, it is close. I think in terms of who have a better career, I think Nico's, the stuff we mentioned earlier in the pod, it's going to be very complimentary to a lot of teams, even if he's not at Chelsea, which may edge it slightly.
Okay. And left wing, this is interesting. Mykhailo Mudryk or Raheem Sterling. So age 22, Mudryk, he would obviously be 27, cost 70 million. Raheem Sterling, 28. So he'd be 32, 33 by the end of it, but it's obviously the duration of those 5 years and you're trying to get somewhere with that. Who do you think would be more beneficial to a set and forget team over a 5-year period out of those two?
Over 5 years, given the young nature of this team, I think you still need your Raheem Sterling. He's been there, he's seen it all. He's still the one person that's proven to get the goals. I think Mudryk will grow in stature and do well. But if you have Mudryk 22 and Cole Palmer 21, was it? Both of them, you need an experienced pro in that forward line, especially with a young striker as well. I think it's got to be Sterling.
They're both frustrating in different ways. Sterling's got the evidence in the locker and the CV. But Mudryk has got the unknown quantity of, if he is developed the right way, could he be Doku? Or at least give us something.
From what I saw yesterday, absolutely not.
Maybe I will go with Sterling.
The thing for me, I think we spoke about it a couple of weeks ago on the pod, where it's like there's so much noise about Mudryk. I think if I was a Chelsea fan, I would be desperate for him to do well and prove everyone wrong. But I think if there wasn't all that noise, you'd be like, you're not capable. Bye.
The thing is with him, his mentality and the way he trains is so impressive to me.
Guy.
He's clearly just locked in every day. I wouldn't be surprised if he eats the same food as Haaland. Looks like he's built to last.
Maybe that'll add up then.
Yeah,
in
so
time.
That kind of work rate and consistency from that side of it makes me kind of want to hedge my bet on him because it looks like he just is determined to make it.
I feel like he's always going to be a prisoner of the fee that was paid for him.
Yeah,
he's always going to be a prisoner for it. Similar to the whole Pogba situation in terms of, no matter what you do, I have a perception of what this position should do and what it should offer me for £100 million.
62 initial.
62.
But I'm rising to 88. We're not doing euros, we're doing pounds.
If he's here for the 5 years, it's gonna rise up.
Okay, so sure, we'll let Mayo have that one.
Yeah,
because,
you take that one.
You got Carl Wheeler in the left back. So we have our 11 here. So the point I kind of wanted to make was that, if Chelsea are doing well, you go, wow, this is a really clever strategy. If it's going bad, you go, what on earth have you just done when it comes to this strategy? What I want, really kind of quickly, say you sold the players that we're not talking about here, And Kai, are you ready with your calculator? He's going to jot down what we've... so of the players that we've got on the scrap heap, obviously there's an amount that's been spent on all those guys. But in 3 years' time, if they're players that are ultimately are like... even at the best level of it, like Gabriel Jesus or Zinchenko, where, Chelsea are in a good place, but they're not getting the minutes that they want, like Ziyech or Pulisic or those kind of players, you're going to want to sell them. What kind of fee do you think you would get, a sort of reasonable, sensible fee that you would get for these guys, okay?
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, no.
And I'll give you the contract. So Kepa will go on a free by this point if it's in 3 years' time. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. So this is what we'll do as well. Say you're not going to get any money on them if their contract's like not within the 3 years. Right?
Okay. Oh god.
Okay. So Kepa, that is a dud. Okay. Gusto cost 26 million. Contract till 2030. So in 3 years' time he'll be 23. How much do you think you get for Augusto? Because I think you'll definitely always get like 20 games a season, wouldn't you?
35?
I think in this market for fullbacks, with the potential that he has, I think he can go on to be one of the best right backs out there. I'd actually be
not better than Reece James. Though.
Not better than Reece
Yeah,
because he's like just
he's
incredible. But I'm fetching 50, honestly.
Oof,
But he would have to play a lot of games though.
Maybe
Like,
so then maybe middle ground 40. But I'm looking for serious money.
I think a
for him.
35-40 is reasonable if he's in and around it.
Inflation.
Right, we've got lots to get through here. So Kai, write down 40, please. Fofana, injury-prone Fofana will be 25. He'll still have like 3 or 4 years on his contract that runs out in 2029, so you're safe there. How much are you getting for Fofana?
That's got a 25 written all over it. Someone
the
will hedge a
injuries.
bet. Someone will hedge a bet. Like similar to that Zuma ball mark. There you go, it's 2025 for you.
Okay, so
Yeah,
it's, do you know what, I'm going to go lower, 20.
Oh no! Wow.
Although it's such a shame because I liked him. I really, really liked him.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It cost 72. Yep. Trevor Chalobah cost nothing. Pure profit here.
Yes.
Pure
What?
profit.
Although 2028. So what are we in? 24, 25, 26, 27. So he'll have a year left on his contract. So you're not going to get an outrageous amount, and he'll be 27 at this point.
15.
15, 16, I was going to say 16,
Okay.
yeah.
16, very specific.
16.2.
Well, 15. So we'll make it 15. Left-sided centre-back, Malang Sarr. He'll be released on a free, sadly. Ian Maatsen, contract expires 2025. So I guess it'll be one where you'd probably need to get rid of him sharpish.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I'll give you... I mean, you're not going to get much unless he signs a new deal now. But I would expect that you would sell him, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
so, although 2025 is again to last year, what, 10 mil next summer?
Maybe Burnley will come back in again. Maybe.
Yeah, I think you'll try.
Burnley will be relegated.
Yeah. True.
Still have enough money. I'll give you 10 for Ian Maatsen. It's like a fire sale. This is great. Ben Chilwell, 2027. So, I mean, that would kind of be a free transfer if he runs it down. So I'm not going to give you anything for that, I'm afraid. Kukurea, 2028. So, yeah, I think you obviously bought him for 60 million. He'll be 27 by that point with a year left on his contract.
18.
I'll round out to 20, but yeah.
Go on, I'll give you 20. And 20 is generous.
Yeah, that is. I'm thinking like a
club's going to need a left back. They're
La
going to need a
Liga,
left
La
back.
Liga,
Yeah.
Valencia.
Yeah, I think that could be tricky. They don't spend any money in La Liga. So
True,
I
yeah.
mean, that is one of the problems, right?
Yeah.
And that's the other thing is, like, I think there's a caveat to all of this, is that if it gets to a point where people know Chelsea need to sell, that means they're going to bring their numbers
We had
down.
it this summer when with
Yeah.
the likes of the Pulisic's, the Loftus-Cheeks, we just wrote are you
Wrote 'em
willing
off.
to pay this number? Okay,
Yeah,
cool. There you
wrote 'em
go.
off, yeah.
Which means Maatsen, you're definitely going to try and sell because it is all profit.
Yeah.
Ugo Chukwu, 19, so he'll be 22 by that point. He'll have loads of years in the tank. 2030 is his contract. How much do you think you can get for him, a 22-year-old?
I think we can recoup his signing fee.
So
He's
22.
22 mil.
Okay.
getting 20 mil for him is
20 mil. We'll do 20. We'll do
Yeah.
20. Chukwuemeka, 23-year-old Chukwuemeka. He will have a year left on his contract.
a year left on his contract.
I think you get good money for him. I think you get great money
If
for him.
he's playing.
great.
English player tax as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd like to hit
30?
30, yeah.
Yeah, I would do
30.
that. I think, 30, 35. Do you know what, I'll give you, I've been stingy with the other ones, 35. Left-sided midfielder Conor Gallagher. He will be released on a free. But again, I think with these guys, you'll let them go, won't you? You'll sell them in between. So
Yeah.
I'll give you this one. With a year left on his contract, do you think
I
What-
think
what are you gonna
teams
get?
will pay 40.
We
Like,
can sell him to
still,
a Palace
yeah.
at 40, yeah, 100.
Like,
After the stocks of this year,
the
yeah,
stocks have gone
100%.
up. People for in the Premier League, yeah, 100% box
He's
to box.
captain of the Premier League. Experience.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think that's a lot.
England
year
squad.
left.
Yeah.
England
One
squad.
year left.
He's in the England squad.
All right. Okay, I'll give it to you.
Matt was a year left, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. Madueke, 2030 with an option for an extra year. He'll be 24. So you got the buffer of the contract there.
24.
Madueke, I think you're getting 35, 40.
Do you think
he's
so?
a great player. I really like
He
him.
is, but again, what I'm thinking about this is what would the body of work be by
Yeah.
the time we sign him?
I
No,
th- I
Nani
think-
30. Get back his transfer.
I think
fee.
30, yeah.
I think he
Okay,
can
we'll
get back
give you
his
30,
transfer.
I
fee.
think. Yeah. Nicholas Jackson, 35 million cost. Contract 2031, sorry. So he'll be 25 by this point.
I think it could go left 25.
25, okay.
Yeah.
Brozier, 2028, his contract expires.
Maximum profit.
So you've got a year on him. So yeah, we can get 30 for him.
Nah.
Striker? No?
So that's another like 16, 20 with add-ons.
So, okay, we'll do 20 then.
Yeah, 20, yeah.
And then Mudryk expires 2031. He'll be 25.
I say
For those who are listening, me and Matisse just looked at each other.
What can we
Like,
get for this
Because you
guy?
know what? We know that we vastly overpaid. I said it when we signed him. He should have cost what Madueke cost.
Yeah.
Right. So you think you can get 35?
30.
Well, yeah, I
Yeah.
think 30. Let's say
Okay.
30.
Yeah.
Right, Kai. Tell me you've typed all this into a calculator. We're going to find out, with this squad, how much money would you make back? What have you got there, Kai?
305 mil.
305 mil.
Victor Osimhen, welcome to the bridge.
So 305 mil, and I think that means the point I kind of wanted to make was that that's not ideal. It's not $1 billion, but you know, with amortization and all those different things,
Yeah.
it's not. You'll be sort of sustainable to a point. And if you think of like a lot of loan players, a lot of academy players that you can kind of build up and sell on, I still like. I get the strategy, and I think when you've got $1 billion to spend, it's risky, but it's you're still able to go and put a value to these players, and if a few of them you can get, I guess that's the other side of it is the fact that some of these, who out of these guys that aren't going to stay at the club are you going to get your money back or
Yeah.
more? I don't think you're going to be making much profit from them, so profit needs to come from elsewhere. So final question for this pod. Where else does the profit come from?
Go on.
Cobham.
Cobham, right?
Cobham Academy.
In Cobham we trust. Right.